Man, I love the movie Home Alone. If you really think about it though, it wouldn't really be that interesting if we didn't have the wet bandits, right? The bad guys want something from the McCallisters. They want something so much so that they are super strategic, right? They're scoping it out ahead of time. They're learning their vacation schedule. They're even bold enough to impersonate a police officer at the beginning of the film. And similarly, right, in this life that we have a very real enemy, the devil, right? Did you know, just like Harry and Marv, the devil has some help as well. And I'm not just talking about demons, right? Did you know at any given moment, there are always 3 forces working against you at sort of any given moment in time? Allow me to explain. You have yourself, your flesh, your desires. You have the world, that's number 2. And then lastly, you do have the devil. So check this out. So ourselves or our flesh, the Bible tells us this: the heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it? That comes from Jeremiah 17:9. The world, or the culture, kind of ideas around us, says this in 1 John: do not love the world or anything in the world, because if anyone loves the world, the love for the Father is not in them. And then lastly, talking about the devil or Satan or the enemy, in 1 Peter 5 it says, be alert and of sober mind, because your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. So any of these 3 areas can sort of be arenas where temptations or opportunities to be tripped up or even fall into sin or just being taken down the wrong path, but oftentimes they're kind of working together and the enemy uses these lies to kind of trip us up. And then the Bible, believe it or not, about Satan actually calls him the father of lies. He plants a thought or even just a mistruth in your head. And so when you go to kind of question this or inspect it, you may look around and you may look to your friends or to social media or to the cultural norms of the world that you're living in, and you'll notice that they sort of match that original lie that you found. And then you begin to think about it and soak that lie sort of into your own flesh or your own desires. Because why? Because you're selfish. And you know that what you want is what's best for you. And so then oftentimes, Satan will appeal to your selfishness, or as the Bible calls it, your flesh, knowing that it's often hard to resist what feels comfortable. So here's what I want you to do. For the next several minutes in your group, I'd like for you to discuss some of the schemes or the plans or the temptations that are found in these 3 areas. Number 1, the world. Number 2, the flesh. Number 3, the schemes of the enemy, Satan himself. Pause the video and take a minute to discuss those together. So 1 Peter 5:8, we already kind of looked at it, says this: stay alert. Watch out for your great enemy, the devil. Your great enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. You see, once Kevin discovered that there was a threat, it sent him first into a freak out mode, but then he locked in to defense mode, right? And you have to realize that half of the battle is knowing that there is a threat. Imagine with me that the movie didn't include Kevin realizing there was a threat. So what happens? The bad guys come in, they take his stuff. It's devastating. Movie over, right? But instead, he realized that there was a threat. So the first step in 1 Peter 5:8 is what? Stay alert. If right now you're not already alert to the schemes of the enemy, then you need to get alert and stay alert. The world, the flesh, the devil, they're all forces that want you to trip up in your faith. So how do you stay alert? Kevin put up his defenses. He did all these things like making the bad guys slip on the ice, burning Harry's hand on the doorknob, shooting him in the head with a BB gun. What happens after the bad guys broke through that first layer of defense? Well, then we got the blowtorch and the nail to the foot, or my favorite of all, especially from Home Alone Part 2, is when the paint cans come down the stairway, but then in 2, he gets them with that massive lead pipe. You see, Kevin had a plan. He was more than alert. He was proactive. And in your life and in your faith, if you're not growing, you're going to find yourself drifting away, especially with your flesh and the world. It's like swimming in the ocean. right? The current of culture will pull you further away from where you want to be, and all of a sudden you'll look up and realize your tent has shifted. Your tent hasn't shifted, you've shifted. So stay alert. So here's what I want you to do. I want you for the next little bit to brainstorm a list of ways that you, during this Christmas break season, can stay alert and fight off the schemes of the bad guys in your life. Okay, finally, in Home Alone, here's what you'll notice. You'll notice that not only the police take care of Harry and Marv until the next movie, of course, right? But think about this. Why, in the first place, did they want to attack the McCallisters when specifically they were on vacation? Because there's safety in numbers, right? Think about it. Peter, the author of the Bible, Peter, not Kevin's dad, uses the word picture of the enemy to be like a lion. And do you know what the easiest prey for a lion is? It's the livestock or the gazelles who are what? Who are all by themselves. You see, once Kevin's family returned, even if the police hadn't taken Harry and Marv away, that house no longer a threat. There was safety in the community of his family. Hebrews 10, 24 and 25 tells us this. Let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. Don't be alone, friends. Find your people, find your tribe. It's what helps protect you from the schemes of the enemy, the world, the flesh, and the devil.